Steve's like the biggest Trump fan ever. So these guys are going crazy in his office. And literally at one point, Trump looks at me. He's like, are you kidding me? And
I think Trump kind of proved that anything could happen.
yeah.
Like, I mean, at least to me, when he first won the presidency, I was shocked. I did not think he was going to win.
Yeah.
But he won America over.
Nobody thought he was going to win that first time.
You did though, right?
Well, it's not that I thought he was going to win. I backed my friend. The thing was at that time is that everybody was telling me, don't do this, don't do this, don't get into this. He's never going to win. Well, I'm not doing it whether he's going to win or not. He's my friend, and he asked me to speak. So Trump was always really good to me, and he's still really good to me. I've had a great relationship with this guy for like 25 years. And yeah.
I mean, the fact that you have had that relationship with a president of the United States puts you in a pretty interesting position. Because I've seen the White House a lot, and I get to do some cool shit. I've rode in Air Force One many times, and have had to have him, the sitting president, come to a UFC event and sit there and watch the events and interact with the fighters and the fans has obviously been, an incredible highlight of my career. But I have no interest in politics whatsoever. I was going to ask you that.
Yeah,
no, nothing.
Yeah, everybody asked me that, but
yeah,
it just, it's you want to talk about a nasty business. We're just talking about how you have to have thick skin to be in this business. If you look at what, they tried to do to that guy and his family over the last 5 or 6 years, absolutely fucking gross. So I would never, ever want anything to do with that. I got a good life, man. Love my life.
Yeah.
Love what I do.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Is there a best part about being friends with Trump? Like, is there like a cool like perk or like riding on Air Force One's got to be pretty sick.
The best thing about being friends with him is he's a great guy. I mean, I'm not looking for anything or, I'm not trying to, think about when we started the UFC and when he had us come to the Taj, right? To the Taj Mahal. And the Trump brand was here. The UFC,
Yeah.
It's hard for people to wrap their heads around how this brand was just looked at back then. And it was just, venues didn't want us, sponsors, television was terrified of us, pay-per-view wouldn't even put us on, sanctioning organization, the athletic commissions didn't want anything to do with us. So, the way he supported us in the beginning was great. And anything that ever happened to me in my career, he would always be the first guy to reach out.
Wow.
And that was when, he was at his peak on television and, in business and all the things he had going on. But he always reached out to me and was always a good friend.
Are you guys purely friends? Does he ever ask you for like advice on anything, or is it just pure friendship? Like, do you advise him at all?
Advise him in what?
Can you add advisor to the president to your
definitely
portfolio?
I'm not advising him, and
I don't know anything business. Like,
listen, to say that I would say that I did leading up to the election. Yeah,
campaign.
Yeah, campaigning,
podcast potentially, like who to work with, talk to,
all that
makes
stuff.
sense.
I mean, I've told the story before, but I called Jared Kushner, who was fucking absolutely brilliant and another great guy. And I said, hey, listen, there's these kids called the NELK boys. I said, just trust me on this one. I want to bring them on Air Force One with us to Arizona. And then Jared's like, yeah, you're asking him this one, not me. So I asked him and he said yes. So the NELK boys, Steve and the whole crew, they get on the plane and we're in this room in Air Force One. It's like a like conference room with a big table and then he calls us up to his office. He's got a big office on Air Force One. We get in the office and these guys, Steve, and Steve's like the biggest Trump fan ever. So these guys are fucking going crazy in his office. And literally at one point, Trump looks at me. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? And then we go to the rally in Arizona and Trump does his rally and he's leaving the stage and they're playing YMCA and doing his thing. And to his brilliance, he saw Steve And Steve was going crazy. And he calls Steve up on stage with him. And Steve had the whole place just erupt. He's doing YMCA and doing all this stuff. And then after that happened, it was the most viral thing on the internet that day. And then the president agreed to do the podcast. Did the podcast with the NELK boys. It did like 6 to 8 million views in a couple hours. And then YouTube pulled it down. And then everybody was talking about it.
Yeah.
And then from there on,
he really adopted
the podcast
social media virality podcast circuit. It maybe even contributed
this is what
to
I said
the
to
landslide.
Him. At one point I said to him, if you keep doing Fox and only Fox, you're never going to win this election. I said, every other network out there says you're the devil and a Nazi and a horrible human being. And everybody on Fox is already voting for you.
Yeah.
This podcast thing is big. These young kids, and a lot of these young kids are supporters of yours. So
seems so obvious too.
And he started doing all the podcasts.
And Kamala didn't.
Finally, Kamala couldn't.
She did. We actually were supposed to have her on, like after we had Trump on.
So Rogan would not do Trump unless he did Kamala. So
we kind of wanted to do both.
Trump flew there, sat there for 3.5 hours or however long it took, was late for his next rally, and didn't know one question. Everything was off the cuff.
Yep.
And that was the thing. My relationship with him, I knew he could do that. I knew. Here's the thing with Trump that I tell everybody, right? You hate him, right? You hate him. Probably people in this room don't like him, whatever the thing. I'll tell you this. I will bring you to a dinner with President Trump. You will sit there for an hour. You'll laugh your ass off for 40 minutes. And then we'll get up and we'll leave. And you look at me and go, holy shit. And I said, yep. What did I tell you? He's unbelievable. I mean, we did it with Bill Maher, Kid Rock. So Kid Rock calls me and says, man, I set this dinner up with Bill Maher and President Trump, and I'm freaking out, man. If this thing goes south, you got to come do this fucking dinner with me. I need somebody else there to help me with this thing. So I call the president and I said, hey, I don't just fucking show up because somebody invited me. I said, listen, Kid Rock wants me to come to this dinner with you and Bill Maher. You cool if I come? He's like, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to have you. And will you go in there? Right? First of all, the president busts my balls all the time because most of the time I go there, I don't wear a suit, right? So you saw the thing that happened with Zelensky.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
So Bill Maher walks into the Oval Office and we're all sitting there. Kid Rock wasn't there. I don't know where he went. He was doing something, but it was me and the president. And Bill Maher walks in and says, I need a drink. And, he's so fucking nervous. And the president says, get him a Coke. He's like, no, it's not a Coke that I need. I need something hard. Get me some. So they bring him a drink. And he's like, there's no way I was showing up to this thing and not wearing a suit. And he looks at me and he goes, that's definitely from the Zelensky collection. And then it was fucking awesome. We went to dinner and they started going back and forth on things they didn't agree on and things they did agree on. And by the time it was over, I mean, Bill Maher could not deny that he had a fucking great time. Bill Maher's probably been, he's been, hammering, conservatives and on the left for over 30 years.
Yeah, yeah.
He's never toured the White House.
Wow.
None of those guys had ever brought him out or toured. Trump gave him the greatest White House tour ever. And then when he went on his show, he said, listen, here's what I can tell you. The man that I have hated for 30 years was not present at this dinner the other night. That's
wow.
all I can say. And it's just, I'm telling you. I can tell you more people that I've brought in that once they leave, they just go. And people that didn't like him and didn't think that they were going to, but he's the president now, so they felt that they have to have some type of relationship with him, and they all leave at dinner going, holy shit.
That was certainly ours.
I was about to say the same
100%.
thing. We had the same exact experience on the podcast. It's like you don't know what to expect, but afterwards it was like,
he's just so real that he controls the room. He has a real aura that people tell you about, and then when he walks in the room, you see it. And remember after the show, he came out. He's like, "You boys hungry?" And brought us the coconut shrimp brought out to us. He was very hospitable. He was super nice and definitely changed my idea or perception of who he was going to be based on like what the media had told me for 25 years.
People who really know me, I don't give a fuck who you are, who you think you are. I have no interest in people that are just douchebags.
Yeah.
Hey guys, if you like that clip, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to see more zany clips, click the video right here.